Well, there isn't a concept really. It's just another wedding present album. I think one thing I would say is that we strive to make each record different. So I think each of the records has its own personality and style to a certain extent. And this is another one in that series, really, I suppose. It's kind of an odd record because we had a couple of lineup changes actually in the making of it. Our bass player left, and then also, more oddly, I suppose, our guitarist left, and our drummer became the guitarist. So I think a lot of the guitar parts are kind of written from a drummer's perspective, which makes it interesting. I think that probably had an effect on it. So yeah, hopefully it's another wedding present record, which is good, but different from all the others. Well, I've always been interested in doing kind of odd things, really, by which I mean I never really wanted to be, like a album tour type of band. So we've had a history of doing kind of odd little projects throughout the years. Like we did 12 singles in a year once. We did some Ukrainian folk music, and I was just approached by somebody who's a wedding present fan who worked at HarperCollins, and he said, would I be interested in doing kind of like a book version of the album, which straight away I thought, yeah, it sounds like a great idea. I've always been interested, in those kind of books, the Beatles at Abbey Road, what they did there and stuff, and then also documentaries on TV. I'm always fascinated by, even if I don't like the band really, I'm always quite interested. Well, I was obviously totally flattered when he said that, and I immediately, it's funny actually because I was doing Cinerama at the time, my other band, and we were doing advert for radio, and so they needed some kind of quote for it, for the radio advert. Apparently you're not allowed to just quote people, you've got to actually have it in writing in an advert. I mean, quite rightly obviously, because you could say anything. So I had to contact John Peel and say, the other day when you said I wrote the greatest love songs of the rock and roll era, could you write that down please and fax it me? Which obviously he did, and very kindly, and I've got the fax. I've got that fax, to this day. Obviously, it's probably one of the most flattering things anyone's ever going to say about me, really.